What's going on, guys? We're back again for the third episode of New Jersey Multi-Species Podcast. Got myself, Chris Pereira, and my buddy Joe Santiago.
What's up, everybody? What's up?
Not much. So before we get started, before Joe says anything crazy, I just want to touch base with everyone about the Merill Creek fiasco. So I have a little bit of an update. Apparently we made, you guys made enough noise all over the place that we got the Warren County commissioners have contacted Merill Creek, supposedly trying to work something out or get some information. New Jersey Fish and Wildlife, I believe, is supposed to have a meeting with them this week or soon to discuss what's happening. So basically, you guys are getting it done. Keep making noise, send emails, contact them, contact John Park at Merill Creek, contact Karen Kopix, the woman that felt the need to lie to us about the time change. Email the town. The town is Harmony Township. Email them, see what they're trying to do about it. Email the mayor's office, air your concerns at the very least. Email the Warren County commissioners. Let them know, you're concerned. Other than that, like I said, even if we can't stop what they're trying to do or what they're doing, at the very least, you set a precedence for next time. Maybe they think twice about doing something like this at the very least. Hopefully we could stop it, obviously. But,
First off, stripers are everywhere. There's stripers everywhere. They're in every river. They're in the bay. They're in the ocean. They're everywhere. I'm seeing real big ones being caught off kayaks. Smaller ones in the back bay. It seems like the kayakers are catching bigger fish than the boats that are in the back bay to me, and then it seems like the real big ones are coming from the ocean. But they're everywhere. I can't believe they're everywhere already. It's just I can't believe it.
Oh, it's anarchy. And it's not, you'll have guys telling you that you got to use bloodworms this time of year. You got to use clam this time. There's bunker. There's bunker falling out of the fish's mouth. Like, guys are catching them on plugs, swim baits, shads, but everything. And we
haven't had the chance really. It's only been 2 episodes. We haven't had time, but obviously one of the interesting things about fishing in New Jersey is the combination of saltwater and freshwater. So this podcast is going to include a lot of saltwater. We do saltwater fish a lot. We're going to have a lot of saltwater fishermen on the show. Chuck Manny from the Timon, he's going to be our first saltwater guest. So that's going to be exciting because I'd love to get to talk to him. But yeah, there is going to be a lot of saltwater content and reports coming. But as of right now, there's stripers everywhere.
Yeah, like we've talked about before, it's just the variety in New Jersey is, it's really unparalleled in my opinion, a lot of people's opinions. And, we can only get to so much. We're taking it step by step. But obviously, we both do a lot of saltwater fishing, like you said, and it's going to be part of the show for sure. We're just working our way up to it.
It's absolutely a part of New Jersey, saltwater fishing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, there he is. Oh, we finally got him in.
We got it working.
This is Thomas Wyatt. He is the current skillful angler leader with yellow perch. And he is an avid fisherman from South Jersey. He's here to defend South Jersey, to defend bass fishing. And we're going to show that we don't discriminate against anyone.
That's
Thomas,
great.
Hello. It's nice to meet you, and welcome to our show.
How are you guys?
What's up, bud? Good. So, real quick, maybe turn your phone sideways. I think we'll get a better feed there. Yeah. There you
go. Yeah, oh yeah.
Now it just cut me out. Now I can't see yous.
You don't have to see us. We see you. Just talk.
All right.
You don't want to see. You don't want to see what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like when we see the analytics to this podcast, like YouTube is outdoing Spotify like 40-1, 40 times 1. Like there's so many more YouTubes than Spotify's. Like I don't know why people want to watch this. Just listen to it. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
You all right, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm good.
He's gone.
Ah, jeez.
I fucked up the whole thing.
Oh, we hear you. Thomas?
Don't worry. Deuce is going to edit this out just like he edited out my favorite part of the last podcast.
Deuce is not editing this out. We're keeping the blackout in and letting people watch the failure.
It is pretty funny. All right, so let's
just keep moving on. Thomas, if you figure... There he is. Oh, I saw him. Did you see him?
There I
He's
am.
gone for a second.
No, there he is.
I'm back.
Leave the phone up. Don't
Chris,
touch the phone.
just start
Don't listen to me.
I'm computer illiterate, fellas. It's not a fishing rod. That's what I know how to use, a fishing rod, not a computer or a phone.
The hardest part of this podcast so far has been getting fishermen to figure out how to get into this Skype room.
I bet.
All right, Chris, fire off some questions now before we lose them again.
All right. So you were saying before that perch that you're leading the skillful angler with, that was an accidental catch, you said?
Yeah, I was bass fishing and I actually caught that fish.
You were doing Joe's favorite kind of fishing, and you accidentally caught a monster yellow perch.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing about bass fishing is when you're bass fishing, you catch a bunch of other type of fish while you're bass fishing. You know.
That is true. You hear that, Joe?
What part of Jersey exactly are you fishing? Like what region?
I'm in Southern Ocean County.
Southern Ocean County.
Yeah, I'm along the coast.
Okay.
I actually live in a bay community. I have saltwater right up the street from my house.
Yeah, I saw you have a boat. You sent pictures of your boat.
Yeah, the steering went on me last week.
I saw looking through your pictures, you have a lot of pictures of some really nice snakeheads, which is Chris's dream here. He's already wasted thousands of miles on his truck just to not catch one.
Just to not catch one. It took me a while to get one.
You have any advice for him? Any snakehead tips for Chris?
Hold on a second. He's confusing snakeheads and bowfin again. All right. I've caught some snakeheads and a couple of trips down there. I can't catch a bowfin.
Can't catch a bowfin. I've actually not caught any bowfin either. Snakeheads.
Hey, Joe, snakeheads, those are the invasive ones.
Yeah, they're
bowfin, those are the native ones.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're basically,
Go
ahead.
There's this guy, Frank Herbert. He posts on the South Jersey site all the time. He's catching monster bowfin right now.
You know what? I'll get down there. I'll get bowfin. It's such a drive, to go. You go down there and you fail, and it's just that drive back just sucks.
Yeah. Well, I come up by you guys and I do the same thing. So it takes me 2 hours. 2 hours to get to North Jersey.
What do you come up to North Jersey to fish for?
Smallmouth.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I see you got a couple of nice smallmouths in your pictures. You say you like to fish the rivers for them, but you're coming up here to do that. You're not finding any of that down by you.
Nah, no smallmouth down here.
Do you have any trout stock water nearby or no?
Yeah, yep. The lake in town here is stocked with trout.
No rivers, just all okay. It's all ponds. See,
Yeah.
it's just a lot different than here. It's so much different.
No, it is. I travel the whole state, man. I travel from top to bottom. I travel all over to fish. I'm actually up in North Jersey a decent amount. And it's a lot different fishing than it is down here in South Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they can get a lot more, of the cold water species, especially in some of the places up here that they can't really stock down by you, unfortunately.
Yeah, we get the 9 to 14-inch trout here, the stockers.
I'm sure that once it gets warm, that's it. They're toast.
Yeah, I call them bait fish.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a skillful angler snakehead? I almost just said bowfin. You haven't?
Nope.
Joe, you're fucking it up again.
What?
There's no skillful angler snakehead.
Because it's invasive, so they won't do the skillful angler snakehead.
Can he be the co-host for the show? Can we get rid of the show?
Then I'm the interview.
So, real quick.
Go ahead.
So, one thing I really noticed, right, is, and since you come up here and fish and go back and forth, I'm sure you've noticed it too. The largemouth bass fishing, it's almost like there's a line right through the state, right around Route 78. And the largemouth bass seem to be a completely different species when you go north of that line or you go south of that line.
Yeah,
that line's Round Valley, by the way. Anything south of Round Valley is the line. That's the line where
it seems like there's an invisible line there, and the largemouth bass are just a different species. When you go, like, you guys are using, it seems like you're using different techniques during the same type of season where we're doing something completely different up here.
Yeah, I mean, up there it's colder water than it is down here, So, but I caught a lot of bass out of Merill Creek. Totally different looking fish than down here.
You caught that whole thing about what's happening with that, right?
Yeah, the hours and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm trying to get everyone, like, spread the word down there too, even for guys that don't come up and fish that place. It's just like to set a precedence. Like, we can't stand for that stuff,
Yeah, no, because it's our money going into that stuff.
Oh yeah, they created that fishery off the backs of our fishing licenses. It was totally stocked from scratch.
Yeah,
to build that fishery.
And now we can't fish it. We can, but for.
I mean,
let me ask you this: are you an Eagles fan?
Yes.
Oh, so he's true South. Yeah, that's it. He's South Jersey.
Yeah.
That's what defines him.
Jersey, right outside of Philadelphia, before I moved down here to the shore.
Yeah, everyone's an Eagles fan there, and everyone here is not.
Well, my wife's a Giants fan, so.
There you go. There's no New Jersey.
There are weird people like Chris. So you find them out there.
Yeah.
There's no New Jersey football team.
No.
You got New York. You got.
Well, the Giants are actually New Jersey.
Well, they play in New Jersey, but they're called the New York Giants. That's what.
Thomas, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry you had so much trouble getting in, and I hope your perch stands for the rest of the year, or you get a bigger one.
So do I. But I plan on getting on there a couple more times. I catch a lot of skillful angler fish through the year. I just always forget about the program and never measure my fish and send them in. But I get quite a few skillful angler fish a year fishing. So this year, that's my focus, to get on some skillful angler fish.
Nice.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. That's why we're kind of trying to promote it a little bit. It's a really cool program. It doesn't, a lot of people forget about it. A lot of people don't know about it. And, the more participation they get in it, the more they're gonna put into it from their end. So
yeah, no, it's cool when I enjoy it. I'm going after the Bass Slam. That's what I want this year, the Bass Slam.
I think I've been able to do that twice.
Nice.
The largemouth is tough up here.
Not by weight. Not by weight. It ain't. It's not by weight. It's not that tough. By length, it's tough.
I'm not gonna go weigh in a fish. It's not worth.
Neither am I. But I'm just saying. I had one last year. I caught it on your boat. on a pack on, remember? And that fish had the weight. It just didn't have the length. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, you looked pretty happy holding that largemouth bass, and then you come and talk all this crap about him.
I actually caught a nice walleye about 5 minutes after that. So that's probably why I was amped up.
Yeah, whatever. I won't find that picture.
Why don't you like largemouth, Joe?
It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I think it's just something everyone does, so I don't want to do it. I don't know. Like, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it, and every tournament is it, and every show on TV is it, and the like Bill Dance in his private pond, and it just makes me mad. I don't know. I just can't do it. I'll fish. I'd rather go out for sunnies just to say didn't go bass fishing. I don't know why.
I hear you. That's how I am with trout. Like when I'm small
shots
when I'm smallmouth bass fishing and I catch a trout, I get mad. I'm like, oh man, my line's getting all twisted up.
Yeah, it's bycatch. It happens.
So
I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you having me.
Take it easy.
Thanks, man.
Right, have a good night.
Take care. All right, so guys, that's what this is all about, right? We're getting people in. We want people to get involved, right? We got some emails saying, we weren't including South Jersey. Joe is smack talking bass. Like,
I wasn't smack talking bass, dude. That's ridiculous. I personally ain't into it. I'm not smack talking.
No, I'm just joking. Like, everyone's got their thing. Everyone's got to, you can't fish for every fish every time. Everyone's got a priority list. But that's not the point. The point is, like, what we're trying to do here is trying to get everyone involved. We don't want anyone fishing in New Jersey to think they're not represented, right? So if you have any comments about the show, things you want to hear, things you want us to talk about more, guests who want to come on, you want to come on, you want to talk about something specific, send us an email. Right? It's just njmultispecies@gmail.com.
Why would you sit in front of the TV watching two guys fish in Labrador at a resort that costs $7,000 for a week? It's cool to watch, but it's unrealistic for people like us. We're just normal people that work, and in our spare time we fish, and we fish hard. The idea of this is kind of I don't want to hear about, how the fishing is in Labrador and how it is in British Columbia and how the fly fishing is in Scotland. I want to talk to someone about how's the fishing on Lake Apacon? How's the fishing on Bud Lake? How is it on Spruce Run? That's what I want to talk about. That's the point of this. And in order to do that, I need everyone. We need the whole state. We need all the saltwater guys, the freshwater guys, the girls. We especially need the girls. We haven't gotten an email from a single girl yet, and we know there are some really good female fishermen in the state.
I got a lot of messages from a lot of girls with foreign names.
Those are all, for some reason, the podcast has attracted this massive following of mail order brides on our Instagram.
They're popping up right now. I'm looking at them right now.
I know. And so if we don't answer your Instagram message, Chris is probably talking to one of them, but send us an email. But yeah, that's the gist of it. We need everyone. I'm supposed to be talking to John Dorn right now because he's supposed to come on, but because I couldn't get the computer working, now I have no time. So John Dorn, he's been fishing basically Newark watershed for the past 35 years. He's agreed to basically give us a weekly bass report. So I got a guy for a North Jersey bass report, and he's going to be the bass guy. Joe Bergen, J Berg. By the way, check out Joe Bergen's YouTube channel. He actually filmed some really cool video. He's continuing to just sneak around the state and do his thing from the bushes. He's caught a couple nice crappie. He showed me a picture the other day of a 9.5-inch sunfish. So that was cool.
Wait, you got him to use a ruler on that?
He is, yeah. He's using a tape measure now, but he said the fishing slowed down and the class size crappie have gotten a little smaller on him, like around 13 inches. He had some 16s, the prior week. He caught
Yeah,
some.
I think it's.
He had a couple wild brown trout, but yeah, Bergen's continuing to do pretty good, and Ed Hutter, the man from Toronto, he's continuing to do good too. He's catching giant pickerel, and crappie. I'm trying to think of who else I talked to. Jen Wan. Jen Wan said he's starting to see. Jen Wan last week was catching giant pickerel, and then when I talked to him today, he said he's starting to see the pickerel on beds now, and the bass were starting to bite. And then he threw up a ton of pictures of really nice smallmouth and largemouth. So Jen Wan's doing really good. Do we have Lake Apacon's report?
Yeah, they sent, Lake Apacon Guide Service sent us their report for the week. Not too much different from last week. The lake did fill up a little bit more. I do believe it's even spilling over at the state park, which I could be wrong, but I believe that probably means it's full. Don't take my word for it, but there's more water in it than there was last week. The water temperatures rose significantly. They're still pounding crappie. He said the perch kind of moved out a little bit. The perch are less consistent now, less predictable now. He's thinking most of them spawned and moved on about their business. But the crappie, they're catching nicer sized crappie now. And the fishing's gonna vary day to day with the weather, right? You get a cold day, you might, something might go off. You get a couple of warm days, it might swing the other way, and you might kill it. You also mentioned the walleye. Again, season's closed, but you can catch and release walleye fish, and they're still getting pretty good. They're moving up shallow. He's thinking that's really going to go off soon too, and just really get good. The walleye's been pretty good too. Again, the season's closed, but you can still catch and release fish for them, and they've been doing pretty well. A lot of them moving in shallow, but he thinks it's going to really get hot soon with the water temperatures coming up, and he thinks the walleye fishing is going to get real good real soon.
So we'll finally. Does he know anything about the wind? Is the wind ever going to stop, or is it just going to be 20 miles an hour every day, forever?
I mean, I could ask him, but most likely if not during the week, it's just going to blow like a son of a bitch every weekend so that you and I trout fish and fail miserably.
Well, I was finally able to get a hold of Dwayne so we could talk to Dwayne. Dwayne, how's the fishing
Coming
been?
on now?
I have him on. Dwayne. Dwayne?
He has COVID again.
Dwayne? Dwayne?
Just hang up. He's dead.
Dwayne?
He's dying. Just hang up.
Okay, forget Dwayne. All right, so then let's talk about Sunday. I know we're trying not to, but let's just talk about it. You start because
I gave you the segue into it, and you pulled up Dwayne dying of COVID on the phone.
Dwayne agreed to come on and give us a little report on what he was doing, and that I don't know what that was.
Anyway, so we tried to force a trout fishing competition again, spin fishing versus fly fishing.
Why is it forced? It wasn't forced.
We got to the river and the water was low and clear, and the first thing we said to each other is, this is going to be a disaster.
That's true. And it sure was.
And then we proceeded to walk probably 7 miles total, trying to catch a trout.
and I broke my fly rod.
The day ended with a broken fly rod. You still don't know how you did it.
Just walking, it seemed to just fall off.
Well, I think not 10 minutes before you realize it broke, I said, you always walk with your rod like that because every step you come a few inches from just spearing it into something and snapping it.
It's 9 feet long, so yeah, sometimes I don't pay attention. I don't know. Yeah, it might have stubbed a rock. Sunday was horrible. My buddy Andy was on I think he was at Muscanac on one of the TCAs. He said, I think he had 2 fish. He sent in some pictures of the flies and stuff he was using and some of the fish. We'll have to put them on. Kind of ran out of time tonight with this stuff, but we'll post them on the social media. Scott Carroll sent us a bunch of nice trout that him and his girlfriend Lori caught. She had a brown trout, 24 inches, so they had nice fish. I'm looking at all of them on my phone. So I had a lot of people that sent me stuff today, but I didn't have time to get it up onto the computers and into the show. So we'll have to we'll get it up on social media.
No, yeah, we'll get to everything eventually. Like, we're gonna share anything you want to share. Again, we're not here to. We're not gonna, even if someone sends us something to share that's like totally gonna blow up some spot or some secret technique or something. Like, we're not gonna share that. Like,
no, we'll just keep it for ourselves. I want to give a shout out. I want to give one shout out to this dude on Instagram, Richie Martinez. This guy shared the podcast in a couple of his stories. He shared our social media. He emailed us. I don't know this guy. He really was a big supporter of the podcast. He gave us a lot of plugs. Hopefully we'll get him on. If anyone wants to look him up on Instagram, he's Richie Yak Angler. He's got a lot of really cool kayak fishing pictures. Looks like probably like Central Jersey, if I had to guess. But yeah, hopefully we get to talk to him. A lot of emails from a lot of interesting people that we have to get to. I called out Andrew Still on Facebook. I want to talk to him. He just laughed. He's a character, man. I've been fishing with him. I'm telling you, I would love to have him on. I went fishing with him one time, and I meet him in the parking lot, and he gets out, and he's like, yeah, whatever. We're going fishing, getting ready to load the boat. He pulls a full-size garbage can of sunfish out of his truck. It's full-size, like a full size. I'm like, what's that? He's like, oh, it's the bait. Help me carry it. He's got
videos. Is this a true story?
What? Oh, 100%.
Is this a true story?
Oh, I got Andy Still stories, dude. You go on YouTube and find Andrew Still. He's a maniac. If you see videos,
I don't need to find them. I know Andy.
Well, you see his videos from Merill Creek where it's like him on the boat and every square inch of the boat is taken up by a bucket of herring, and he's like transferring water every 8 seconds while like catching state record brown trout at the same time. And then another time I met him to go fishing, and he showed up with a brick of Velveeta cheese. He's using cheese. Like, that's the baity, bro. He's catching rainbow trout in Round Valley on Velveeta cheese. So, yeah, Andy Still, he's a great guest. I'd love to talk to him again. He's a riot.
He ain't going to come on. He ain't going to come on here and talk to you.
Waste of time. I called him out, though, anyway. I tried.
I think he's having way too much fun trolling people on the internet these days.
Andy, if you agree to come on, we will tell you where we know there are a few tires. And we will tell you, because we know where there's tires. Chris?
No, but in all seriousness, we do appreciate he does a lot of cleanup efforts and cleans up a lot of these rivers with a lot of teams.
I think he spends more time now cleaning up than fishing.
He does. I mean, we appreciate it. I don't understand it, but we
But
appreciate it.
he got into like when the whole last week's episode came out, this huge thing erupted because of the Merill Creek thing. And like Andy kind of like was going at it with me, and he was bringing Newark Watershed into the conversation, and John Dorn was in the conversation, and I couldn't tell like if Andy agreed with me or not, but somebody else commented on it, and they basically said like those places should not be receiving any state fish if they're going to. First of all, the Newark Watershed one that pisses me off is Canistere, because that lake gets a lot of walleye. If you look at the state stocking numbers, the number of walleye that go into Canistere is enormous. I don't understand why I should have to pay for a boat launch permit, a separate permit for myself, and then I need a permit for anyone I bring with me, right, Chris? And then on top of all that, I can't even fish at night. Like, so you're throwing all those walleye in there, and I can't fish at night. And now you're throwing all the rainbow trout into Merill Creek and telling me I could only fish till 4:30. So it really seemed. The whole point of it, I think what they were trying to say was, if NJ Fish and Wildlife is going to make a war out of this and go at Merill Creek, why aren't they doing something towards the Newark Watershed?
Well, I mean, I gotta disagree with most of that. I mean, so when you're comparing the two, it's like apples and oranges. I mean, Newark Watersheds, I mean, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but Newark Watersheds had the rules that they have and the stocking agreement that they have with the state, I believe, are they coincide with each other. So it's not like they're putting more restrictions after the fact, which is what Merill Creek is now doing. Right. So, I mean, I can kind of agree with the walleye stocking, except there are ways to catch them pretty consistently during the day there.
That's irrelevant to the argument. The point is,
well,
those are our fish. And you're telling me
okay,
I have to pay extra money to fish for them, and I'm not allowed to fish for them at night. And now Round Valley's doing this. Not Round Valley, I'm sorry. Merill Creek is now doing. They're going to take state stock trout and tell you have to get out at 4:30.
Well, yeah, to me that's 1,000 times worse. I mean,
how's that worse? That's free though. Like Merill Creek, they let you in for free. Newark Watershed people.
I would rather. First of all, the Newark Watershed's fee is very reasonable. It's like.
It's about $25. It's $25, and then it's 25 or 20. It comes out to like $50-something for your boat and you.
Yeah, okay.
Then
for
you
the
can't.
Year. For the season.
You can't take anyone on your boat fishing with you that doesn't have a pass. You can't fish at night, and you can't use a kayak.
Well, let's be honest. If they ride in the car with you and they're on the boat, no one's coming out in the boat to check theirs. So if you really want to nitpick about $25, but anyway, the point is that was already set, and if I would gladly pay $50 for a season to knock down the fishing pressure on a place, which is basically what's happening there. Because, one, it's electric motor only. Two, you got the fees that, good luck catching them at the office. That's the most annoying part about it, is they're never there when they say they're going to be there to buy the pass. I don't think you can do it online still. Maybe they've changed that. But
I do not believe you can buy it online. No, you have to go there in person.
All right. So it makes it a little bit more work to get there. It cuts a lot of the people out of there. And so you get to fish in less pressure. Yeah, it sucks. You can't fish at night. There's walleye in there. You want to fish for them at night, but there's ways to catch them pretty consistently during the day. I mean, and that's one of those things that,
But
some guys know how to
so
do it.
what?
Most
What?
guys don't.
What makes you feel that it's fair for the Newark watershed to imply these rules, but then when it comes to Merill Creek, you're carrying on a war?
They already had those rules. First of all, second of all, they're sunrise to sunset. Merill Creek has a lot of rules too. You can't ice fish, can't fish at night. They were open sunrise to sunset. No one was complaining. I would, you know, it would suck because it was free to begin with, but I would gladly pay a $50 seasonal fee if they're going to claim that they're doing this because they can't pay security to be there that long or whatever they're claiming.
I do too. That's why. Oh, and I forgot to throw in. I have to throw this in before I forget it. Go off topic a little bit because we were talking about bringing in South Jersey, bringing in saltwater. We're kind of coming to the realization from emails, and we keep taking shit from our friends. We're going to have to bring in. I mean, listen, this is a New Jersey podcast, but obviously everybody who's a pretty diehard fisherman from around New Jersey, you're fishing New York and you're fishing PA too, right, Chris? Like we're fishing all three. I myself don't fish Pennsylvania that much anymore. Chris still does sometimes. I fish New York a lot. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm no longer withholding like our good friend Scott Tarnowski. He's the captain of the King's Ransom on Lake Ontario, King's Ransom Sport Fishing. We've been out with him a few times. I've known him for years. He's just one of the best guys I know. Guys from Jersey are looking to go up to Lake Ontario to go salmon fishing. I can't give you any help. I can't send you to Lake Pack on guide service for that, unfortunately. I can send you to Sodas Point, King's Ransom Sport Fishing. That's where you go. You go to Scott Tarnowski. Chris, am I right?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, look, you're living in New Jersey, you're fishing in New Jersey. It's a great centralized point with a lot of variety, and part of that variety, right, is you can drive 5 hours north into upstate New York. You can drive a couple hours west in Pennsylvania and find some real nice different sort of trout fishing that we don't necessarily have here.
If somebody went next weekend to Salmon River or any river up in the Tribs for dropbacks or browns and sent us a story about it or pictures, we wouldn't withhold it. We would show it. We're gonna show out of state stuff. Even if somebody goes on vacation to who knows where and wants to, Chuck Manny just got back from Costa Rica. I was looking at those pictures; they're unbelievable. So yeah, anything Jersey, man, just anything Jersey fishing. So if we live in Jersey and we fish New York, we're going to talk about some New York too.
Yeah, it's all part about fishing and fishing in New Jersey. I mean, it's right there. If it's in driving distance, to me, it's part of fishing in New Jersey.
Everything's in driving distance in the United States.
Wow.
Except
reasonable driving distance.
What is reasonable driving distance to you?
Oh, well, I guess that just depends. I mean, I've seen Justin Lerner drive 10 hours.
Justin Lerner doesn't count because something's wrong with him. So
there is definitely something wrong with him.
We did the Lerner. We did that Sunday. What we did is the Lerner boogie down. We walked 12 miles, and it just didn't pan out. But yeah, he walks like a madman.
Well, he drives too. Dude just drove 10 hours to South Carolina.
Yeah, you're fairly insane too. I want you to tell me, what would I call you and say, Chris, this is let's go, and you would say, no, that's insane. I can't do that.
I think the problem with me is if there's another person that wants to do something, it doesn't really take that much to convince me. I may at first go, oh man, that sounds like torture, and then you just go, nah, it'll be awesome, and then that's it. I'm sold. Okay, let's go.
So do you want to go for dropback steelhead this coming weekend and meet up with Nick Massa and maybe take Luke
maybe.
with us?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well, one more thing before we go. The skillful angler leaderboard. There is a change on there, an update. Frank Brzezinski. I hope I texted Frank for pronunciation of his name because I hope I don't keep saying his name wrong. I got to pull up what he talk about something for a second, Chris.
What do you want me to talk about? How you just butchered the guy's name?
I don't know if I'm butchering his name. Oh, here it is. Frank Brzezinski. That's got to be it. He
did
said
you say it right?
Yeah, he said, "Hey guys, it takes a real good largemouth bass to get me amped up, and this fish had me shaking." He said, "I'm on the skillful angler board," and he is. He leads now. I don't have time to pull that up. Right? I think it's 23.5 inches he caught, but if you go on his Facebook and look Frank Brzezinski, it's a pretty nice bass. And actually, just 2 weeks ago, he posted a monster pickerel. So he's on the board with the largemouth bass and the he has something else too. Well, he had something before the bass went up, and then some other guy has the walleye and the hybrid already. I've been looking for that guy, but I can't find him anywhere. He must not have social media.
A lot of people don't.
But that's pretty much all I got for tonight. But guys, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be back next week. Next week, I think we're going to be back with a little more saltwater. Send us emails.
Jumping into the salt next week.
Oh, and the other idea. Let's throw the other idea out there. An idea. I'm just gonna float this out there. You guys could, email or comment, voice your opinion for some giveaways. You know, some gear giveaways and hats, and we might have some stuff to be giving away.
Well, let's put it this way. Like you're like pussyfooting it. Like we've got some potentially like real nice prizes.
All right. Well, let's just the idea that I'm floating to make this interesting, because I'm sick of all the raffles and whatever wheels. I'm not doing that. So if somebody wants to win something from us, they're going to fish for it. So the idea that we have to do this, if you subscribe, well, I'm not setting one up right now. I'm just explaining the idea so you guys could bash me on Facebook. We float the idea out of, like, let's say the biggest pickerel of the weekend is going to win this prize. So on Friday night, on all our social media outlets, we're going to post a code, a 7-digit code. You write that 7-digit code on a piece of paper, and during the weekend, you catch a pickerel with a picture of it on a tape measure with the paper with the code in the picture, because that proves to me that it's actually legit. That's how you're going to win the prize. That's my idea. It's not my idea. It's been done before for other reasons, but I thought it was a cool idea for giveaways. Instead of a raffle, you're just going to subscribe to the YouTube channel and go fishing, and you're going to be in a NJ Multi-Species Podcast Fishing Derby for the weekend for whatever the target of choice is.
You know what? Hold on. As you're saying this, I'm thinking of a little bit of a revamp on that.
Do it.
I don't want to do it just one species, right? You're saying like, we'll do a pickerel contest.
No. I'm just floating the general guideline out so they get the idea.
But what? How about what if? Okay, instead of you start saying, the biggest one wins. That you're gonna cut a lot of people out. Like some people just like to fish, right? They don't necessarily know yet how to target the biggest of a species, or they haven't found that particular body of water that's going to consistently produce something that big.
So you're saying you want to have some raffles for the people that suck?
No.
You want to have raffles to have the people that suck win prizes.
I didn't say raffle.
Well, what did you say? What, are you just going to throw things out?
No. If you'd listen.
I'm listening. I'm all ears.
I'm talking. Then
it hasn't even. See, I floated this idea out there. It hasn't even gotten past you, and I'm getting ripped. So it's gonna. I'm just dead, man.
I'm revamping it just a little bit, right? Listen. So, okay. We don't pick any particular species. We don't say it's the biggest one, right? Okay. We still give out the number so that the fish has to be caught between whatever the time frame is, whether you want to do a week or between one show to the next show, whatever it is, you give out this number that isn't available till it starts. All right, that number has to be in the picture in some way, right? Just to prove that this isn't an old picture. Okay, they submit their pictures. And then maybe we pick out our favorite 16 and we put them up for vote in like a March Madness tournament style.
All right, this is insane. All right, we'll yeah, there could be all different kinds.
That way, dude, anyone can win with any species of fish. If they catch a nice fish that they think is cool, they take a nice picture with it. We like it. We put it in the tournament. Then people can vote for it on the site, on whatever platform.
Okay, well, I'm saying the contest, every one could be different. You know, like one weekend it could be this, the next weekend it's that. I'm just saying
we could try some things
instead of the traditional spin the wheel or that kind of thing. We're gonna.
No, I agree. We're not doing straight up that bullshit.
No, it would be cool. Actually win it. Maybe we'll have first, second, third, whatever. We'll see how many
people we could do it, dude. I'm not going to give any specifics, right? But I mean, we got some pretty sick prizes.
Are we allowed to fish in it? Well, we did. No, I mean, you could say so. We have some Yeti stuff. We have some Plano stuff. Have some spider wire stuff. We got some stuff, and there's more stuff. There's possible free trips coming, free guided fishing trips possibly coming. Yeah, so there is stuff in the works. You got to hit the subscribe button though, because if you don't hit the subscribe button, none of it's coming, and I'm not doing this anymore. So hit the subscribe button because I need subscriptions, or I just can't do this.
That'll be the stipulation.
I end every episode begging for YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking pathetic.
It is, but hopefully someone feels bad and just clicks on it.
I'm sure your mom probably made 3 different accounts and subscribed to all 3 of them.
And one more plug. Bruce Litton started a new Facebook page called Round Valley Photographers. If you're into photography and like landscape sceneries, the Facebook page is all a bunch of people that are sharing like beautiful pictures of the water and the lake and the rock formations. So check that out.
Yeah, mostly it's probably just the rocks that should be under the water. Are they finally filling that place back up, or what's the deal with that?
I mean, from what I heard, it came up from the rumor, and it is a rumor. I heard it fell below the legal level it's allowed to sit at. And what they did was they started putting water back in. Everyone got excited and ran to the internet and said, oh, they're filling water back into the lake. All they did was fill it back to the legal lowest line and left it. That's my understanding. But no matter what they did, it's nowhere near the boat launch. I'm not fishing there again until the water's at the boat launch.
You may never fish there again then.
No, I'm not. Then they'll build a new boat launch down in where the new lake is, because I'm not just going to keep launching off the dog beach anymore like that. Because that's
you got to do what you got to do. You gotta do what you gotta do.
You just disagree with me on everything. All right, I've had it. Chris, can you? When I crunch my eyebrows down, do you see this giant vein
There
in
is
my head?
massive. It is massive. I
Is
thought
that
you fell
normal?
asleep. No, I thought you fell asleep face down on like a sofa, right in between the cushions.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I might go
it
see it.
literally looks like you fell asleep face down in between two sofa cushions for about 3 hours, and
No.
then woke up and just jumped on the computer
No,
to
look,
do this podcast.
it's only when I move my eyebrow. This thing is like, is this recording?
I sure hope it is.
All right, I'll see everyone next week. Goodbye, guys. Please hit the subscribe button.